Learning is often defined as a relatively lasting change in behavior that is the result of experience. When you think of learning, it might be easy to fall into the trap of only considering formal education that takes place during childhood and early adulthood. But learning is actually an ongoing process that takes place throughout all of life. How do we go from not knowing something to acquiring information, knowledge, and skills? Learning became a major focus of study in psychology during the early part of the 20th century as behaviorism rose to become a major school of thought. Today, learning remains an important concept in numerous areas of psychology, including cognitive, educational, social, and developmental psychology. How do we make learning personal? We know that families are children's first educators, and as such, children's home experiences and the natural predispositions that they are born with play an important part in what and how they learn. Because of this, it's important to take time and space to help children express who they are, form ideas, connections, and interests over long periods of time, and have their needs and interests correctly interpreted, especially if they cannot articulate through language due to age, ability, or culture. It's a great idea to invite parents and caretakers to help children take photographs or draw pictures of their lives at home so that they can share these in their setting and help practitioners relate to them more personally, as well as identifying common interests with other children. How do the arts and creativity help early learning? The arts provide a fantastic opportunity for young children to learn holistically through play and with all their senses at once. For instance, one single movement session can support physical development by making body shapes that strengthen, coordinate, and flex limbs. Emotional development by building trusting relationships when practicing balance or massage. Cognitive development by counting jumps or devising rhythms and patterns of movement. Linguistic development by articulating the sounds of movement like wriggle, jump, spring, etc. Creative development by expressing their inner feelings and responses freely and innovatively. An effective early learning environment encompasses a diversity of experiences to stimulate and nurture children's curiosity in the world. A creative learning environment is simply an excellent early learning environment with a combination of well-chosen, open-ended, imaginative resources, a competent and confident staff team who value strong, positive relationships with children and parents, welcoming opportunities for families to become involved in their children's learning, a leadership that values the creative development of staff as well as children. In this environment, children will feel loved, secure, respected, free to learn through adventure and discovery, and able to reach their greatest potential. Let us now see about socialization process and its impact on children and learning. Family, school, peers, mass media, public opinion, and religion each play a major role in the socialization and ultimately the education process. Each of us proceeds through life in a manner that we often believe is under our immediate control and influence. It seems logical that the actions we take and the impact of those actions is based upon a series of logical, rational decisions selected and filtered by choice, not chance. Although this seems a reasonable manner in which to assess one's lot in life, it is far from reality, particularly in the area of education. One of the most dramatic impacts on a child's education is that of the socialization process. Forces removed from our immediate decision-making process guide us all. Through the process of socialization, the hidden hand of social forces beyond our control guides our lives. The major agents of socialization, family, school, peers, mass media, public opinion, and religion, exert pressure on each of us. The evolution of self emerges from this mix of social forces. This is particularly true during the formative years from kindergarten through high school. The impact of these forces can vary dramatically from person to person. The consequences can be life altering and severe. The idea that each child enters school with the same opportunities that foster success is not a valid assumption. In fact, many things have a profound impact on children and teens. Among these are the family from which ascribed status is derived, attendance at a public school or private school, the composition of peer groups, exposure to mass culture and media, and religious affiliation. As the primary agent of socialization and the first educator, the family plays an essential role in the transmission of the fundamental values that encourage and nurture learning in a young child. Studies have demonstrated that children from homes in which both parents have college educations have a much higher probability of academic success as well as personal and professional success. The opposite is also true. Children from homes in which parents do not possess a college education will have a more difficult time achieving academic success. The disparity inherent in this environment demonstrates the importance of the family and its role as the transmitter of values. The institution of the family in America is the primary purveyor of education as a core value, regardless of educational background. For some, it comes by way of birth and privilege. For others, it comes by way of perseverance, hard work, and persistence in the face of adverse economic factors. Regardless, the likelihood of academic success is minimal without the family as a guiding force. School is an integral part of child's life. School can be an integral part of a child's life. A child goes to school not just to gain knowledge or information, but to learn the essential threads of group dynamics, adjustment, developing interpersonal skills to live in a connected world. In the words of Aristotle, man is by nature a social animal. Since birth, he is in constant need of human interaction. The first human contact in a child's life is his mother. But as the child grows and develops, his needs and requirements evolve. The home cannot provide all these requirements. Thus comes the role of school. It equips a child to face all experiences necessary for his growth and development till he reaches the level of maturity to face the world. Schools provide a plethora of platforms through scholastics, co-scholastic activities, values through life skill education, personality development, sportsman spirit, and team abilities, which help any child to evolve as a responsible individual. In fact, the parents of autistic children and those with other psychological issues from birth insist that their children come to a regular school for their social development and learn to work in groups and interact. Today, even the government is trying to focus on inclusive education, where a school is an organized institution which helps to foster learning skills with group dynamics most essential for any child. Schools help to build self-confidence and core values which can never be learnt in isolation. It is often said that having two children is better than having one, as the child imbibes the feeling of kinship, learns soft skills better than a single child who might end up growing up as a self-centered person. Schools help all children, especially the single children, to inculcate these skills through a rich school life where they learn to live well and together in a harmonious manner, ironing out differences at every step. Educating children in school helps them communicate better apart from appreciating and respecting others' opinion. It helps one learn the expected norms of behavior for living in a social environment, to think and act critically, follow a regimen which helps a child develop self-discipline. The systematic and meticulous training by teachers helps a child learn better work ethics and understand the concept of healthy competition. Now, let us discuss the importance of parents. Parents are the ones who show genuine love to a person. A person can expect unconditional love only from his mother and father. In most civilized societies, parents take a great care in upbringing their children. They are the ones who help the child overcome his negative attributes and insufficiency. A child with good parenting rarely fails in life. Parents form the family of a child till he is married. In many people's success, the role of parents is the key. You can even notice many world leaders and philosophers describing the role of their parents in their life. Parents give many things to their children and are directly involved in child development. Without parents, it would be very tough for anyone to have a better life. Unconditional love. Parents are the sole people from whom a child can expect unconditional love. Without them, he is unfulfilled in life. He becomes a loner and faces many hardships in life. Since human is a social animal, just like food and air, love and care are another elements which are absolutely necessary. They are the people who share you happiness and sorrow equally. If you weep, they do, and if you laugh, they do. Financial support. Many people have good or sufficient financial support only because of parents. This helps them to pursue education and other hobbies without worry or having to work for making a living. This financial support also puts them ahead in the startup with reference to business or position in the companies. Hence, many young people in the level of directors or other higher posts in a company are children of the company founders. Moral support. Parents give moral support to the child in case of failure. During some accident or love failure or divorce, having parents besides is a great boon. They provide instant moral support and strength to tackle the situation. They are the people whom can console you and put back into life. Hence, we can see those kids who do not have parents are a bit depressed in life as they have none to share their sorrow and achievements. Hence, parents taking divorce also have tremendous effect on children. Also, they teach them spirituality, prayer and other aspects needed in life. Family support. Family is the integral part of everyone's home. The family of any person starts with parent itself. Later on, he gets his spouse and children to live with him. In countries with established family trends, we can notice this. Even parents conduct the marriage of the children. They create awareness and requirement of marriage for life. Further, in many families, they select the suitable groom or bride for marriage. Even in the early days of marriage, initial differences in marriages between partners also overcome due to support and suggestions from parents. Hence, we see the divorce rate is lower in arranged marriages than in love marriages. Involvementing success. They guide him right direction and makes it easy for him to succeed. They even teach them the value of discipline and relationships. Hence, we see many people succeed due to good fathers behind. Even George W. Bush, the recent president of America, was the son of senior Bush, who was also the president. Even the recent Chinese president is also a son of an ex-political official in a Chinese government before. If one tries to check the personal life stories of successful people, we can realize the extent their parents helped them climb the ladder of success. Importance of parent involvement. Educated parents help their children in moving in right direction in their career. They understand the child's strengths and weaknesses and guide him right path. They also help the kid solve his homework and also encourage any extracurricular skills in him. Hence, we can see teachers and schools emphasize on parents' role in education of their children. Let us see the role of parents in child's learning. Although a parent's role in their child's learning evolves as kids grow, one thing remains constant. We are our children's learning models. Our attitudes about education can inspire theirs and show them how to take charge of their own educational journey. Be a role model for learning. In the early years, parents are the children's first teachers, exploring nature, reading together, cooking together, and counting together. When a young child begins formal school, the parent's job is to show him how school can extend the learning you began together at home and how exciting and meaningful this learning can be. As preschoolers grow into school-age kids, parents become their children's learning coaches. Through guidance and reminders, parents help their kids organize their time and support their desires to learn new things in and out of school. Pay attention to what your child loves. One of the most important things a parent can do is notice her child. Is he a talker or is he shy? Find out what interests him and help him explore it. Let your child show you the way he likes to learn. Tune into how your children learns. Many children use a combination of modalities to study and learn. Some learn visually through making and seeing pictures, others through tactile experiences like building block towers and working with clay. Still others are auditory learners who pay most attention to what they hear, and they may not learn the same way their siblings do. By paying attention to how your child learns, you may be able to pick his interest and explain tough topics by drawing pictures together, creating charts, building models, singing songs, and even making up rhymes. Practice what your child learns at school. Many teachers encourage parents to go over what their young children are learning in a non pressured way and to practice what they may need extra help with. This does not mean drilling them for success, but it may mean going over basic counting skills, multiplication tables, or letter recognition, depending upon the needs and learning level of your child. There may be times to review, but don't take on the role of drill master, and when you do review, it should feel as if your child wants to be a part of the practice. Set aside time to read together. Read aloud regularly, even to older kids. If your child is a reluctant reader, reading aloud will expose her to the structure and vocabulary of good literature and get her interested in reading more. Reading the first two chapters of a book together can help because these are often the toughest in terms of plot. Also, try alternating. You read one chapter aloud, she reads another to herself, and let kids pick the books they like. Book series are great for reluctant readers. It's okay to read easy, interesting books instead of harder novels. Connect what your child learns to everyday life. Make learning part of your child's everyday experience, especially when it comes out of your child's natural cousins. When you cook together, do measuring math. When you drive in the car, count license plates and talk about the states. When you turn on the blender, explore how it works together. When your child studies the weather, talk about why it was so hot at the beach. Have give and take conversations, listening to your child's ideas instead of pouring information into their heads. Connect what your child learns to the world. Find age appropriate ways to help your older child connect his school learning to world events. Start by asking questions. For example, ask a second grader if she knows about a recent event and what she heard. Then ask what she could do to help, such as sending supplies to hurricane victims. You might ask a younger child if he has heard about anything in the news and find out what he knows. This will help your child become a caring learner. Help your child take charge of his learning. We want to keep children in charge of their learning and become responsible for it. We want them to be responsible for the successes and failures. Show them how engaging learning is and that the motivations for learning should be the child's intrinsic interest, not an external award. Don't overschedule your child. While you may want to supplement school with outside activities, be judicious about how much you let or urge your child to do. Kids need downtime as much as they may need to pursue extracurricular activities. If a child has homework, an organized sports, and a music lesson, and is a part of youth group in church or synagogue, it can quickly become a joyless race from one thing to another. Therefore, monitor your child to see that he is truly enjoying what he is doing. If he isn't, cut something off the schedule, advises Michael Thompson. Keep TV to a minimum. Watching lots of TV does not give children the chance to develop their own interest and explore on their own because it controls the agenda. However, unstructured time with books, toys, crafts, and friends allows children to learn how to be in charge of their agenda and to develop their own interests, skills, solutions, and expertise. Learn something new yourself. Learning something new yourself is a great way to model the learning process for your child. Take up a new language or craft or read about an unfamiliar topic. Show your child what you are learning and how you may be struggling. You will gain a better understanding of what your child is going through, and your child may learn study skills by watching you study. You might even establish a joint study time. Dear viewers, in this lesson, we have seen so far about learning, child as a learner, socialization process in a child's life, and the role of school, parents on child's learning. Thank you.